Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I want to show you some basic things that you can do to help keep your guitar in tip-top shape. And this is going to be some really non-invasive guitar maintenance, because I see a lot of these kinds of videos. They recommend a bunch of different chemicals or even scraping your fretboard with a razor blade. And while that might be necessary if you let your guitar get to that point, where it gets all grimy, if you follow the tips that I have in today's video, you will never actually reach that point. Real quick, if you have not yet grabbed your copy of my free ebook, I'm going to put a link to that in the corner. It's free for all my subscribers, and it goes over all the basics and all the stuff that you're going to actually play on guitar once you've cleaned it up. So in my opinion, there are three kinds of guitar cleaning. There's the daily things that you should do every time you put the guitar down. And that's really simple. You just take a nice clean cloth and then you wipe down all the parts that you touched, And I just use like a regular cloth or like a cut up t-shirt, a cotton cloth. And I do that every time I finish playing guitar. It takes about, 10 seconds, and it makes a huge difference. Then there's the second kind of cleaning, and that happens every month or two when you're changing the strings. And that gives you an opportunity to get the spots that you can't reach normally, like under the strings near the bridge that usually gets a little bit dusty, or underneath the strings, basically underneath the strings. It gets a little bit dusty. And when you take off the strings, you can clean those parts. And if you do those first two kinds of cleaning, you will never ever reach the third kind of cleaning, which is deep cleaning. And I'm actually going to teach that in a separate video because that's a whole process unto itself. It's actually something I do whenever I buy a used guitar that didn't really get enough love, or maybe too much dirty love. And, I recently did buy a used guitar, and I've been saving it up. Even though I wanted to clean it up, I've been saving it specifically so I can make a video and show you guys how I would clean that up. So like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. That way you'll be notified and you can watch me clean that bad boy up. Either way, we're going to get on with what we would call the, regular cleaning that you should be doing every time you finish playing guitar. All you need is a clean, dry cloth. As far as what type of cloth, something really soft. I usually cut up old cotton t-shirts. Some people use microfiber cloths. I have a plush microfiber cloth that I bought at the store for like $5. Just make sure that it's clean and doesn't have any debris on it. Because if there's dirt on your cloth and then you rub that dirt onto your guitar, that dirt will be abrasive. It'll scratch the finish. So you want to use a clean, dry cloth. So we take our cloth and we just wipe down all the high traffic areas on the guitar, and just think about it. When you play guitar, you're going to be touching the neck and the fretboard a lot. And then your strumming hand is going to be touching here and here. So we're just going to clean up those particular spots. If it's like the summer, maybe your hands are a little bit sweaty, you'll actually, be drying up the sweat that's on the guitar. And we just go up and down. I like to wipe down the entire surface of the strings. And then I go behind the neck. Sometimes, if you have like a thinner cloth, you can even get it through there in the sound hole, and you can go under the strings as well. Especially if you have like greasy fingers, that's a really good way to make sure that both sides of the string are clean. The reason why I believe this is the most important type of cleaning is because if you leave all that finger oil on your guitar, you put it in the case, you put it somewhere else, it's gonna have all this time to corrode your strings and to, cake on, and then your guitar is gonna get scungy, right? So I'm just gonna recreate what it's like when I actually put down my guitar. I'll be like playing guitar a little bit, ready to put it down. And that'll keep your guitar clean basically forever. But every month or two, when you change your strings, it gives you an opportunity to take care of some of the nooks and crannies that you would otherwise miss. As far as changing the strings, that's its own subject. I'll put a link in the corner if you are interested in learning the best way to change your strings. Anyways, when you are changing your strings, once you've taken them off, you can do a bit more of a deep clean. I like to take a damp cloth. So you just take your clean, dry rag, wet it under the sink or get a bowl of water, and you wring it out as hard as you can so that it's just barely damp. And then you can clean up all the trouble spots on your guitar. Basically, clean it everywhere, wipe down the entire surface of the thing. Take your time with it. But especially in those little nooks and crannies, like underneath the bridge, there's always a lot of dust under there from when you're strumming. Right here on the headstock where the strings are usually covering it. I go parallel to the frets, by the way, so that I can get in between. If you go this way, it never really gets the creases, right? And, that's pretty good doing it that way. But we can also take like a credit card or a guitar pick. We wrap our cloth around it, and then we can use that to really get in those nooks and crannies. So I would do that in the bridge here, all around the bridge. But you can do the rest of it anytime. You don't need the strings to be off. But when the strings are off, take advantage. Get all those nooks and crannies around the end of the fretboard. We just go through all the frets like that. I do one side, so I'll do it this side, and then I'll switch hands and I'll do the other side. That way I can be sure to get every one. It's a little bit quicker this way. Get this spot right here. You can get around between all the tuning heads. You don't really need the credit card for that part. You just use your finger. And then, give it a wipe down again, just to pick up all the debris. And once you've, gotten into all the nooks and crannies and polished up all the big surfaces, I like to take my clean, dry cloth and just give my guitar a shine. It's not going to be wet because our other cloth was barely damp, remember. But I'm just giving it a nice polishing shine. And then you can put your strings on and you're good to go. Now, a lot of people have asked me over the years if I recommend any particular guitar polish or any chemicals or anything like that. And I actually don't recommend guitar polish. Just looking at it, it looks beautiful, it looks polished, just when you use a little bit of a damp cloth and a dry cloth, or even put a drop of soap in your water if it's really greasy. The other really common chemical people use is fretboard oil. I have these chemicals here, by the way. Polish and fretboard oil. First things first, if your fretboard is finished with lacquer, like this maple fretboard here, there's no need for fretboard oil at all. But if you have like an unfinished board, like rosewood or ebony, any kind of unfinished fretboard, and it's looking kind of dried out, you can put some fretboard oil on it. And some people, not only is it going to make it look all shiny and beautiful, some people feel that it makes it easier to play. The one thing you got to look out for, though, is that the oil can get into the crease between your frets and the fretboard, and it can gunk it up, which defeats the purpose of all of our cleaning work so far. So when you apply it, use it very sparingly. A really light coating is all you need. Goes a super long way. I've used this quite a lot, and I still have, you can see it's full up to there. I've had this for 20 years, and I do occasionally use it, but it lasts forever. And in terms of what to use, all the most popular ones are called lemon oil, and they have lemon scent in them, but there's no actual lemon oil in them. It's actually mineral oil with a lemon scent in it. And some people will just use straight up mineral oil, like the cheapest thing you can get. And that is apparently the best. It smells like a tool shed though, and I guess that's why people add the lemon scent. Anyways, you just rub it on lightly with a thin cloth, like a cut up t-shirt, and make sure to clean up all the excess, really thin layer. I'll take the credit card, wrap it around a dry part of the t-shirt, and just make sure that I get into all the creases around every single fret, just to draw in all that excess oil so it doesn't gunk it up. And to be honest, I bust this stuff out once every 2 or 3 years. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. And when it comes to playing your well-maintained guitar, I have a bunch of stuff designed to help you. So please subscribe to the channel. You could even get your copy of my free ebook. There's a link down below in the description. And you'll also find some links to my courses. And, depending on where you're at with guitar, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate player who wants to kind of hit the next level, I have all sorts of stuff designed to just get you there, So please check that out. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.